Hey, greetings everyone. Roxy and we are here on a quiet Sunday morning. You know why? We want to celebrate the fourth graders writing. So we're going to make a video, aren't we, baby? Yeah, we are. We're going to make a video celebrating the fourth graders and their amazing writing. So here we go. So I've always thought the fourth grade is really a crossroad in life. It's on this journey that you're on. You can either go down Easy Street, yep, and then turn right on Do Nothing Boulevard and find yourself at a dead end. Yeah, do you want to do that? Do you want to waste fourth grade and not learn those important skills of like reading and writing and focus and how to be ready for the rest of your life? Because I tell my fourth graders, what you're doing right now, that's kind of setting the stage for where you're going to be the rest of your life. But you could also on that journey, hey, you could go down the Focus Frontage Road. Yep, you could. And then you could turn right onto the Success Interstate. And yahoo, that's where you want to go. And a lot of fourth graders are making that wise choice. Good for them. So writing is such an amazing thing, and it's complicated though. It's not easy. I tell you, there are so many cylinders that have to fire to make the engine of writing go. And the first one we do, and this is a checklist that's on their Google Doc where they do their writing every day, and it's like, do you know what the question is that you're going to be writing about? That's step one, because then when you read, you're looking for evidence to support your answer to that question. And so as we read to understand. We take notes for the writing, brief little bulleted notes, not long cumbersome sentences, but we're learning how to take notes. And then when we actually do the writing, we do the hook questions. It's called advanced writing. It's where you engage the reader. Those hook questions make the reader wonder. It's what your whole thing is going to be about. So those questions have to be very targeted. And then we do a background hook, just to give the reader a little picture. So these two are both appetizers to the essay. But the real heart of the essay, of course, is the evidence. The evidence is what matters. It's where you're supporting your answers to those hook questions, and you wind up with a conclusion at the end. But we've added a lot of cool things during the year, like, hey, use vibrant words. We're always using cool adjectives and nouns and verbs and adverbs to make the writing really come alive. We use similes and metaphors, but we're also making our sentences more complex by using beginning phrases that start with things like as, when, while, because, if, since, and so on. And so our writing is really taking off. It's kind of cool to see in our writing journey where we started. And I'm going to show just a couple of students where they started. So highlighted in tan at the top was Brooklyn's essay at the start of the year. And now comes Brooklyn's essay now. So she starts out with just beautiful hook questions. Have you ever been to an icy area? In fact, we were reading paired texts. One was about a girl who had a trip to visit her aunt in Alaska, and the other girl was on a trip to go to an island off of North Carolina. And so these questions totally hammer the main idea. Have you ever been to an icy area? Do you prefer warmer or colder climates? Have you been in a beachy area? Do you live in a stormy area? And so their question that they're writing on is, which of these two places would you rather go to? So in other words, they're not even writing about the girls. Nope, they're writing about those two places. So it's opinion, it's compare contrast. So it was kind of a sophisticated piece of writing they were doing here. Here's her background hook, just to give us a picture. It was a snow-filled day, at least in one part. Snow covered the Alaskan grounds with an icy sheen. Wow, do you hear that? Classy, vibrant noun and adjective. Lakes froze over, making crab fishing slightly easier. Icicles hung like drying glue. And then comes her transition to give a little picture of North Carolina. Meanwhile, off the coast of North Carolina, it was warm, it was quite stormy. Wild ponies ran around as if they had been there long before humanity, which they in fact were. And so then she has evidence. So here's her paragraph about what's good and bad about Alaska. And see her transition there. Though it has its downs, she was transitioning to the negative part of living in Alaska. And the same thing as she talks about Oracoke Island. Much like Alaska, Oracoke Island, North Carolina, has its ups and downs as well. See that beautiful transition tying the whole essay together. And then she ends with, which would you rather vacation to? Pretty cool. So here's Cassidy's. In yellow is her essay at the beginning of the year. Yep, that's where she was then. And we did just a sample writing before I gave them any instruction just to see where's their writing at the beginning of the year. But here's her essay. Now, have you ever been to Alaska? Have you ever been to an area with a really cold temperature? And then all of her good questions. The wind was blowing like a ginormous fan. And then she talks about each one of them. Look at all of her elaboration. It's one thing we really work on is elaborating, explaining. And so that's where taking good notes really comes in. And then our conclusion at the end. Here was Payson's in writing at the beginning of the year in yellow. And look what he's doing now this past week. Look at his good hook questions. Have you been to an icy or warm place? Wow, he covered both of them. Do you like warm places or icy ones? Do you like seafood? It's kind of funny, both places had seafood. And have you been hard to arrive? Because that story about North Carolina was there was no road there. No, they had to get there by ferry. And so look at all of his beautiful elaboration. It takes so much focus and just determination to do all of that. Yahoo, Payson. Here was Rosalind's hook questions at the beginning and her beautiful background. Look at this metaphor. One day in Alaska, it was a snow globe. There were icy floors everywhere. The snow looked like dripping glue. A boy looks for crabs in the snow. A little wind was going through like a fan. Meanwhile, that good transition in North Carolina. It was the hottest day. People were fishing for fish. A shark passed through the water. Wow, good for you. And then she has her elaborated evidence on each place and has her conclusion at the end. Gorgeous writing. Wow, Rosalind. Here's Karan. I love his hook questions. Have you ever walked cautiously through cracked ice? Ooh, good adjectives. Have you ever been on a bush plane to see your aunt? Have you ever had to go somewhere more difficult than more easier? Look at his beautiful background hook. On a cold day in Alaska, snowflakes were falling from the sky like sweet angels. Oh my gosh, that's good. Cracked ice with cold snowy water under the ice was flowing through the water. Polar bears were catching the cold fuzzy catfish in the water. And then he does the North Carolina background. It was one warm day in North Carolina. The air was flowing through the warm day. Bugs were buzzing through the nice peaceful warm day. Then it rained. Cool. And then comes all of his elaboration about each place. Beautiful writing. Bravo. Karan, and as his conclusion too, here's Thomas's. Each student has their own kind of voice in their writing. Thomas is so creative and kind of full of humor. So he does this. Do you prefer hot or cold? And then in parentheses, he says hot. Ever visited a really cold place? And in parentheses, he says no. Ever visited Oracoke? No. It was cold. Wear those winter clothes or frostbite will bite. Snowmobiles went vroom, boom. My engine blew up. See his humor? Meanwhile, the Outer Banks lay Oracoke, an island with the best fudge. Very sandy, though. Small amounts of people live there. And so he goes into his evidence. I'd like to see a little more, but I tell you, his writing has such humor. Now, Oracoke, it's called that because you can have Pepsi, Sprite, or a Coke. Hey, pretty funny. Here's Sterling's. Look at Sterling's. Have you ever been stuck on cracking ice? That's what happened to that girl. Would you rather live in a warmer place or cold? Have you ever been to an island that has delicious king crab? Have you ever been on an island that has fudge and ponies? Just beautiful hook questions. Man, did he understand what he was reading. Then listen to his background hook. It was a fine day in Alaska. Snowflakes were falling like raindrops in slow motion. Oh my gosh, that's just what snow does. It falls a lot slower than rain. Beautiful, sterling, just bravo, good writing. A lot of evidence. Here's hunters. Do you like more of a warmer or a colder area? Have you ever gone to Alaska? Have you ever gone to North Carolina? Good hook questions. Here's his background hook giving us a picture. It was a frigid day in Alaska. Snow silently fell from the cold clouds. Wow. The white snow looked like fresh marshmallows. What a simile. It smelled like fresh nature. On the other hand, those are good transition words. North Carolina was scorching hot. The bright sun was glaring right at the island. Wow. It smelled like fresh peaches, and you would see wild ponies walking around. Nice. And then goes all of his beautiful evidence. Like Alaska sounds very fun, riding your sled and crabbing. Crabs are delicious. You can play in the snow, have your peace and quiet, and just play in the snow. And then he goes on the bad part, but it's cold and dangerous. And when I mean dangerous, I mean you can get physical with a wild animal or get lost. And just beautiful elaboration. Yahoo, hunter. Here's an Axie. Have you ever been stuck on a nice island? Have you ever lived in hot or cold weather? Have you ever lived on an island that ponies that no one knows when they came to this island? Look at his background hook. Once on an island, the snow sweeps. Hear that powerful, vibrant word? Like dirt. The windy breeze is like a mint leaf. What a simile. That spreads its smell through your nostrils, that expands your lungs. Gorgeous writing. The sun's light shines through the houses, and there goes his elaboration. I tell you, it is so fun to see them grow and focus and discipline, and every day we share their essays on the screen, and who wants to share this? And hands go up. They want to excitedly share what they're doing. Here's Priska. Priska, too, has come so far in her writing. Here's her evidence on Alaska. Have you ever thought about going to an icy place just to worry about the bad stuff? Wow, that's a sweet question. And see, every paragraph we start with a hook question, just like she did. So beautiful writing. Here's Seth's. Have you ever had to choose between two places to live? Have you ever liked a place that had been more difficult or easier? Have you ever wanted to go somewhere just because they have the greatest food for free? And in parentheses, he says it's crab. Beautiful writing. Seth. It was a sunny day, he says. A nice breeze fills the air. People lay on the beach sunbathing. Maybe half mile into the island, a nice little and hype town appears. Yeah, there was one town on that little island. That was so cool. And it was so hyped up. I love that adjective, hype. Way to go, Seth. And he keeps writing. Just beautiful writing, Seth. Good for him. Here's Skylar's. Good hook questions. Great. And Josiah, look at all the good pieces to Josiah's essay. He's got the good hook questions and the background hook and all the pieces of elaboration. Yahoo, Seth. Juan just joined us, about a month or so ago, and man, is he picking up what we're doing. Look at his good hook questions and his background hook, and his elaboration is just awesome. And I loved his conclusion at the end, and ends with the beautiful question, which one will you choose? I mean, just spectacular writing, Juan. Wow, we're so happy to have you. And here's JC, who's come so far. She joined us mid-year as well, and man, she's just picking up the pieces and going full speed ahead. Look at her, awesome, good writing. JC, wow. Just think what it takes to write all that, because we're just in fourth grade, It's a lot of focus, a lot of following every step that we do. And then we're going to kind of end with the icing on the cake. A few weeks ago, we were writing about Anne Frank, and so we were studying over several weeks. We were studying the Depression. Boy, those 30s, they were really something, followed by World War II, which was where the Anne Frank story fit in with the horrible Holocaust. Have you ever been hunted by the Nazis? Have you ever had a normal diary and it became a huge part of history? I mean, man, did she nail the main idea with that question? So it takes total understanding of what we read and what we're writing about. Have you ever seen a camp and killed over 6 million people? Have you ever had to leave your own country because you were Jewish? Wow, powerful hook questions. But look at her background hook paragraph. Absolutely just stunning writing. It was a sad and gloomy day. Loved ones were dying from a dreadful disease at camp. But now, listen to this. The peaceful sounds from the pages of a diary were being turned to a different page. Talk about powerful. And then she says, the ink smoothly went on the pages of the diary. I tell you that adjective smoothly, or actually it's an adverb, it's just stunning. Nazis were trying to kill the Jewish people. They were yelling like angry French bulldogs. What an amazing simile. Abby, she's kind of our queen of similes. She just cranks them out. And look at all of her incredible evidence. It's like, yeah, these are fourth graders. Pretty bloomin' cool. And Hunter on that same one had such a cool background hook. He made it be action. Quick, everyone up in the annex. While the Nazis barged like an angry bull, do you hear that simile? The Franks were hiding in the annex. With the softest voice, hear that adjective? Mr. Frank said, sounds like they're almost done looking for us. And then all of his beautiful elaboration. I mean, when kids learn to write like this now, you know what? They've got it for the rest of their lives. So, yahoo to the fourth graders that we showed. There were a lot of good pieces that we didn't show. A lot of good writings we didn't show, but if you want to see your fourth graders writing, go to their Google Classroom. And if you want to share your email with me, I'll get you connected right to our Google Classroom as well. So yahoo, fourth grade. We've come a long ways this year. Good for you.